In today's video, we're going to be unboxing and setting up the brand new Silhouette Portrait 4, but make sure you guys stay all the way to the end because I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite features you're not going to want to miss. Before we dive into this box of fun, I want to briefly mention that if you are interested in attending my free Silhouette Studio workshop that I will be hosting in November for an entire week, we are going to go over all of the details whenever it comes to Silhouette Studio. If you guys purchase your machine using my link below, which is from Mimic Vinyl, you will find it in the description below or in the very first pinned comment. So if you purchase your machine, it doesn't matter if you purchase an older version, the Silhouette Portrait 4, the Cameo 5, or the Curio 2, or even if you just purchase an upgrade to your software. For example, if you purchase the business edition, once you make your purchase, all you simply have to do is email me at You Can Totally Make That. I will have the email linked down below so it's easy to find. I'll also have it here on the screen so you can pause it, write it down. All you're simply going to do is email me, give me your name that you purchased your machine with, and then I will reach out to Mimic. They will confirm that, and then I will add you to the list. In a few weeks, I'll start emailing you guys the class schedule and all of the info so you can join. So this will be a live Zoom class, and we're going to go over everything you need to know for your machine. So I'm going to have a day that I'm going to go over the Curio 2, the Portrait 4, the Cameo 5, and all of those things, even just basic software in general, so it covers all of your machines. So if you guys are interested, make sure that you guys use my link down below, and then once again, just email me, let me know, I'll confirm all of the details. If you guys are a part of my Besties membership, you guys will actually have free access. So no purchase necessary. You guys will automatically have access. All you simply have to do is email me and let me know that you want to be added to the class. Another really fun perk for my besties, this month I created this free Silhouette cut settings cheat sheet that you guys can download, and you're going to be able to keep track of all of your settings here. So we'll be able to put materials or settings as well as even the IPT technology. So the newer machines have that IPT technology, so you can put an X there to remind yourself whether you like to use that with that particular material or not. So as we go along through our class, the videos and all that, you can keep up with all of those. And that way it's going to be a quick cheat sheet that you're able to quickly grab and have those ready to go. Now, as we go along and I really start to dive in and fill these in, I will update and send you guys another copy that has pre-filled in case you guys are interested in that as well. If you guys are not a bestie and you're interested in joining, you can click the link above, or I'll also have it right there in the description for you guys so you can check that out today. I give you guys free SVGs and PNGs, and there is so much more stuff going on behind the scenes, but once again, I never tell you guys because it's only for the besties. Diving right inside of our box, we're going to open up our very first flap here, and as you can see, it's already going to tell you to check out the design store for some awesome images. And so you've got a little QR code here. I'm a huge fan of QR codes. You guys let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts of QR codes? They just make life so much easier. Love it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and keep on diving in here. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we come into first. So we've got a little piece of cardboard. Let's see what's inside of here. The very first thing that we're gonna come into is our autoblade as well as our adjuster tool. So we're gonna go ahead and set that aside. And in case you're wondering, yes, this is the exact same autoblade as the previous models. And then on this side, it looks like we have our power cord. The next thing that we're going to come to is our mat. So as you can see, they have included a mat for us. So we're going to set this out of the way. One of the really cool things about Silhouette is you can use your mat, of course, or you can actually cut matless, and that includes cardstock. Yes, you heard me correctly. You can cut even cardstock without a mat. It looks like we are down to our machine. So we've got some little handles here. So we're just going to grab it out of here. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and get our box out of the way. Something I'm super curious about when it comes to the boxes, you guys let me know in the comments below. Do you save your box? Like you keep it the entire time you own the machine? Do you throw it out immediately, or do you save it for a certain amount of time, like maybe a week or two, a month, just in case there's any issues and you have to return it? I am so curious. I have been the worst about tossing it out right away and then needing that box. I am the worst. So if you are that person, let me know in the comments below. But it's something I think about and I want to know. So you guys sound that down below. Now it's time to go ahead and unwrap this. I'm going to speed it up. Now that we have completely unboxed our machine, before we set it up, let me go over some of the key features you will see right here on the machine that will probably blow your mind. So let's check it out. Number one is the repeat button. This was the most requested thing to bring back from Silhouette. So you now have the repeat job. So whenever you're cutting out your stickers or you cut out a bunch of vinyl or HTV, whatever it may be, as soon as you're done, you can load your next one and simply just hit the repeat right here. If that was something that you were wanting Silhouette to bring back, let me know in the comments below if it is something that you use. And if you do, what do you use it with? Your print and cut, or is it just simply any of your projects? I want to know all of the things. Another really exciting feature you're going to notice on your Silhouette Portrait 4 is this little area right here where our blade housing goes. You're going to notice like 4 gold circles and a little straight silver bar, and you're wondering, what is that? I don't see anything on my blade for that. What that's going to be is for your power tool. So it's going to go in the same housing. It'll be a little power tool that'll have a little piece that hangs off that will attach to that and give the power tool power is what this is going to do. So this is like a little plug-in, if you will. So what that's going to allow us is one of the power tools that will work with this machine is going to be a foiling tool that will get nice and warm and toasty and allow you to foil items without having to plug it in the wall or a USB or anything like that. It's going to give it power. So that's really, really exciting. Well, going along with that note, in the same bag that your autoblade and adjuster tool, you're going to notice something like this. And you're probably wondering, what is that? I'm sure this is going to go along with our power tool. So I don't know if this is going to be a replacement piece or another little attachment of some sort, but at the end of the day, this is going to go with your power tools. The last feature I want to go over before we actually plug this in and set it up is the roller bars. With your Silhouette Portrait 4, you're going to be able to load a piece of material as little as 4.75 wide without the mat. So you can load in here a piece of cardstock, vinyl, HTV that is 4.75 inches wide. All you simply have to do is lift up your pinch roller bar. So there is a little handle here. You're just going to lift it until you hear the click. You can move these down. So these are going to move. And then you're just going to grab this and slide it over until you have it where you want it and then drop it down. So I'm going to be able to work with as wide as 9 inches to as little as 4.75. I am so excited. You guys let me know if this is a feature that you're excited about. To find your power button as well as your plug-in for your USB cord and your power cord, it's all going to be on the right side of your machine if you're looking at it from the front. If you're looking at it from the back, it's going to be on the left. Getting ready to plug our machine in, we want to go ahead and attach our 2 pieces of power cord. We're going to plug this piece right here, right into the back of the machine, and this piece into the outlet. Before we power it on, let's go ahead and load our autoblade. All you simply have to do is this little lever right here, you're going to pull it out. So on the sides there, it's a little bit of a grippy. You can hear it click out. Then you're just going to hold up a little bit so you can get this in there. We're going to drop it right inside. I'm just kind of making sure I can feel that it's in there, and then I'm going to push in. The next thing you want to do is kind of tug on it a little bit, make sure it can't pull out so you know that it's completely secure. Now let's go ahead and power it up. So right here on the side, we're just going to hold it for just a second, and then it's going to power up. So it's moving along and doing its thing. On your machine, you should see a blue light flashing. This is your Bluetooth ready to find your software. Now, before you actually get started, make sure that you have downloaded the most recent version of Silhouette Studio so it can support your new machine. Another way to connect your machine is using a USB cord that looks just like this. Now, Silhouette no longer includes these into their packaging, but you should have a ton of these laying around, whether you've owned previous printers, die cutting machines. I own a lot of these, so if you guys do as well, let me know in the comments below. But if you don't, I'll have a link down below where you can snag one. Let's go ahead and jump into Silhouette Studio so we can make sure we have found our machine. To do so, you're simply going to come up to the top right and we're going to click on Send. From here, you're gonna come all the way down to the bottom where you can see this little machine right here. We're gonna click on it. And then you're gonna see that it says Portrait 4. That's what we're looking for. So if you can see this and you can see the little Bluetooth there, it has actually found it. So all we're simply gonna do is click on it. It's connecting. And now, as you can see, it's going to say there is a firmware update available. We want to go ahead and click on Update Now. You guys will be able to purchase the ES, the Electrostatic mat, to use alongside with your Silhouette Portrait 4. So if you guys are not familiar with that Electrostatic mat, stay tuned. There's more videos. I will be using it alongside with that Silhouette Portrait 4, but I do have videos linked below where I show you guys examples of how that works. Now let's go ahead and put our Silhouette Portrait 4 to the test. The very first thing I want to test out is the print and cut feature for stickers, but not any stickers. We're going to be working with this glitter laminate. So this is like a holographic sticker laminate sheet. So this is actually going to be layered on top of sticker paper. So one of the things that Silhouette has improved with this machine is their registration marks, as well as the way that it reads holographic sticker paper, as well as reflective sticker paper. So I want to put it to the test right away. When it comes to working with print and cut, if you guys are new to Silhouette Studio, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a few tips and tricks here. So you can do this before or after you bring in your files, but today I'm going to show you guys first. So what you want to do is come up here to your page layout, page setup, if you will. So all you have to do is click on this very top one. Then you want to come over to this tab right here on the right. You're going to click on that. And you want to turn your registration marks on. So this is going to allow us to see exactly where we can put our designs. From here, it's time to add our files. I've already added my registration marks. So what I actually want to do is come up here to File, and then you're going to come down to where it says Merge. And so that way we can add it on this exact layout, right? So if I just go ahead and go to open, it's going to start a whole new layout and you're not going to see my registration marks. So I want to go ahead and start it with merge, and then we're going to choose our very first file. One thing that as a crafter that I like to see from designers is whenever they create the sticker sheets and they have everything together. So we have the option to cut them all out at once, or we have the option to bring them individual. This designer did not, so we're going to bring them in one at a time. So we're going to click on it and hit OK. From here, I'm going to select my design, and then I'm just going to grab a corner here and then size it down. I think that looks pretty good, something about like that. And then I can bring it right inside of my line. So starting with that registration marks, I can see where I have to work with. Now, to add a second design on here, all you're simply going to do is go to File and hit Merge. So every time you come to add another image, make sure that you use Merge. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up as I add them all in. Now say for example, these are the only designs I want to use, but I want to duplicate them a few times. All we simply have to do is select it, and then we're going to come up here to these two cubes, which is duplicate. We're going to click on it, and it's just going to give us another one. So we can go ahead and keep them the same size, or if I want to resize them, make them a little bit different in sizes, I could definitely do that. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. Now I have my sticker sheet ready to go. Everything is here. Let's go ahead and get ready to print it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to the send button. Next, we're going to come up here to where our printer is. We're going to click on that, and then we're going to go ahead and hit print. Now that we have these printed, you can see our registration marks right there. How adorable are these stickers? I have heard that pastel is apparently going to be in this Christmas, so you may want to check these out. So what we're going to go ahead and do is get ready to put our laminate sheet on top. Now my laminate sheet is a little bit longer than this sticker sheet, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it down. But normally what I would actually even do with these laminate sheets is I would even trim it even further, and I would only put it right here on the inside of these lines. That way the machine can read it better. But we're going to test it today. We're going to see if it can read it with this on. We're going to see if Silhouette actually improved that. All right, so what I need to do is trim this down just a little bit. So I'm just going to figure out about where I need that. Pull in my little handy dandy trimmer here and trim that down just like that. When it comes to my laminate sheets and putting them on, what I like to do is get a top piece started. So I'll get about an inch or so out. I'll fold over. You could do like a half an inch, You're just basically going to fold it over just like that, right? So we're going to get started. We're going to go right up here at the top. We're going to line that up. And so I want to make sure I'm keeping that nice and flat. So the very next thing I like to do is to take the back side here. And so I'm going to be pushing and pulling. I know you guys can't really see there, but I'm just pushing with one hand like this and gliding this down just like that. So now we're just going to smooth everything out. You could take a squeegee like this just to really help you smooth it out, but usually by hand, it was already sufficient. But if you want to make sure, you can definitely do that. But look at how pretty these are. It makes them super glittery and sparkly. So much more fun. Once again, all of the supplies I'm using today, I'll have a link down below for you. So let's get ready to cut it out. So for this one, we're going to actually use our cutting mat. So we are going to remove our backing. Don't throw this away. We want to make sure we replace it. And then you just want to make sure that you load this right over here in the corner. All right, just like that, keeping it nice and straight on our mat. All right, looks good. So now let's get ready to load it in our machine. To load it in our machine, I'm just going to slide it right in here, lining it up with our little grooves or marks there, if you will. And then I'm just going to hit that arrow up. So this is just going to take it in the machine. Now let's get ready to actually print it out. So what we want to do, it's already chose sticker paper white, but honestly, we have to up the level because we've added laminate on top. So we really need to up that pressure and that blade depth. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and change this. I'm going to go ahead and change it to a blade depth of 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and change my force to about, I'm probably going to do about 25. I'm going to keep my passes at 1 and my speed of 8. So we are ready. So I'm going to go ahead and hit send. It's going to go ahead and remind us at this point to load our material as well as our auto blade in carriage 1. We've already done that. So now we're going to go ahead and hit send one more time. At this point, you guys can see it in work. It is reading our registration marks, and then it's adjusting our auto blade and getting ready to cut it out. So we have a little bit of sound, but definitely nothing like we had before. So you guys let me know. I'll be real quiet for a second. You let me know. Do you think it is better with the sound than previously? We definitely still have that little bit of, that sound. I don't even know how to do that, but you guys know we still have that, but it's quiet. It's not super loud and high pitched like it was in my opinion, but you guys let me know in the comments below. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this speed up and cut it out. All right, so it is done cutting. Before we actually unload this, I'm going to test it out, make sure that it's cut all the way through. If it did not, we could go ahead and hit that repeat button. So let's see. I'm almost kind of like I wish it didn't, so that way I could just hit it anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it by just pushing up on it a little bit. And there we have it. Oh my gosh, it is perfect. So now let's go ahead and unload it. So we are just going to pop it out of the machine just like that. And then I'm going to bring it up and show you guys one more time how glittery fun these are. Is this not the cutest? They're adorable. I am obsessed. So let me put this one back, and we really have to check out the Santa. So these are really, really nice. These are, I was going to see if it cut all the way through. So with these cut settings, so you guys can see that here. With these cut settings, these are a die cut sticker, which makes them perfect. Now, whenever it comes to stickers, there is a kiss cut and a die cut. So if you guys are not familiar with that, the kiss cut will leave it on the backer so you can just peel it off, where the die cut leaves the backing on them like this. So that way you can throw them into packaging. You could sell them. So you could actually cut these out and sell these and have them as individual die cut stickers. So in case you guys are curious about that, but those were perfect, absolutely perfect with this holographic settings. And as you guys can see, the silhouette read those registration marks with no issues. I covered those up. You guys can see that there. I covered those registration marks with the holographic sticker paper, and it was able to see it, but oh my gosh, that Santa came out so darling. And then once again, you're just simply going to fold it over and you can actually just remove that backing. I love die cut stickers. See that? Check it out. So much fun. I love die cut stickers, like I said, to throw in. You could throw these in Christmas gifts, or if you guys sell stuff, you could put them in packaging as free gifts. So much fun. You guys let me know, what are your thoughts below. As you guys can see, I've got all of those die cut stickers off there now. This is a perfect size for like your laptop. You could add this on like your tumbler, but these are a ton of fun. So I highly recommend that you guys check out the Silhouette Portrait 4, even just for stickers. So much fun. When it comes to print and cut, I'm very curious, can you cut without the mat? So let's put it to the test. I want to use cardstock. So what we're going to do is start a new tab, and then I'm going to go ahead and just go up here to the folder because I haven't done my print and cut registration. We're going to do it after this time. We're going to go to downloads. Next, I'm going to go ahead and choose my file that I'm using today, which is this one right here. Now that I've brought my design in, I'm going to come up here to that little green dot right here, and I'm just going to go ahead and rotate it just like so. And then I'm going to drop it down just a little bit. Actually need to rotate it just a little bit more, just like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get it somewhere right about in here, and then we're going to go back over to our page setup, choose the registration marks on, and then I just want to make sure everything is inside, which it definitely looks like it is. Everything looks really good to go. So now let's go ahead and hit send. Same thing, we're going to go ahead and print it out. So I'm going to hit my printer, and I'm going to hit print. Now that we have our cardstock, I'm going to line this up. You can see a little arrow there telling us where to put it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to hit the load in, and we're going to find out together. Once again, I have no clue whether this will work or not. I don't know if you have to do print and cut on the mat, if it's a law, if you will, or what. So we're going to find out together. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go over here and change it to cardstock. So I'm going to type in card, and then I am going to go ahead and choose cardstock plain. Our blade depth is at 3, and then our force is 20. I'm going to go ahead and try that just to see if it'll work. If it doesn't, we can definitely up it. So I'm going to try their settings first. So let's go ahead and hit send. Here we go. Fingers crossed. You guys will let me know. Do you think it is going to work? I'm super curious about it because it's one that is, you know, it's one that I feel like it's like you would think that it would have to be on the mat for the print and cut. But if you do not have to be on the mat for print and cut, I'm going to be pumped. So I tested it without the mat 2 different times, tried to move it over, and it wouldn't read it. Now I have to research to see if that is user error, like I need to scoot it over, I don't have the correct placement, but more than likely you have to have the print and cut projects on the mat. But I had to test it out. So now let's go ahead and load this in here on the mat. Get it in there. And I even accidentally did a test cut at the top of this paper, but it's still going to be fun. Now let's go ahead and hit send again, and let's see if it works this time. It's definitely working now, which tells me that you need your mat for the print and cut projects. So we're going to go ahead and speed this up and let it cut it out. Once again, our machine is done. Let's go ahead and test it first to see if it works. We're just going to bend it over and feel, and it did. So there we have it. How awesome is that? So all we simply have to do is hit the unload button, and then we can just peel all of these off of the mat. Just like that. Super duper easy. So as for the cut settings on this is just the cardstock that you can buy from Walmart, honestly. It is just the normal, whatever brand that they have there, white cardstock, and I use the cardstock plain settings, and as you can see, they worked like a dream. In order to get those not to peel, once again, or curl if you will, you could actually just kind of bend this over a little bit, but I'm just trying to remove them off the mat. So once again, this is something that would be awesome with that electrostatic mat. And there we have it. Not only do we have our die cutting stickers ready for Christmas, we have our gift tags as well. And that print and cut is so perfect. It was dead on. The little hole there, you can see there is no offset of white going on here. It cut these so nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and set these out of the way. Now, the one thing that I have got to test right away, since those cut settings were perfect, I'm going to leave them, but I want to go back over and just get a simple shape. I want to try I cut this to 4.75. I want to try this without the mat, adjusting the pinch rollers. So let's go ahead and do that now. For our last test cut here, I've got my mat ready to go. All I'm simply going to do is come over here to shapes, and then I'm going to choose a Christmas tree. We're going to stick with our Christmas theme here. I'm going to choose my tree, and then I'm just going to go ahead and select the mat, click anywhere, and then I'm going to go ahead and drag it out. So somewhere right about here looks pretty good to me. And so now I want to go ahead and come back up here to my pointer tool. Now I'm just simply going to go ahead and take that tree and I'm going to get it right up here at the top. Now that I have this up here in that left corner where I want it to be, as you can see, the feed type, I have it set on auto. So I have my machine set on auto, the feed type on auto, the cutting mat is set on auto. So it's going to know what I'm doing there. So all we're simply going to do is hit send. I'm not going to change my settings. It is still at that cardstock plane because we knew that worked, right? I'm using blue. I know it should be green, but we're going to use this pastel blue here. So one of the first things that we need to do is we need to adjust our pinch rollers over. So we're going to pop this open. We're going to move these two right over here. And then we're going to scoot this all the way in. So I'm going to go ahead and double check where this is going to set in here. So like this. Now that I have my pinch rollers where I want them, I'm just going to drop that down. And then I'm going to get this in here just like so and go ahead and load it. Once again, using those same settings, we are ready. I'm gonna go ahead and hit send. I'm so excited for this one. Now, the previous model could do this as well, but this is just something I'm wanting to show you guys that you may not realize you can actually do with Silhouette. It doesn't matter if this is the Silhouette Cameo 5 or the Portrait 4, you can do this with your Silhouette machines. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the unload button and you're gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, well, Crystal, it's still attached. Because the way that these are designed is to hold it in place. So if I wanted to sell these die cuts like this and ship them like this, you definitely could. But what's happened is it's not perforated. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just holding it there for you. So that way, let me go ahead and get my top piece just like that. So I got a little bit of my point here, but not bad, I'll show you. How cool is that? Is that not amazing? So awesome. We did not have to use a mat. You can use your cardstock and we can drop it down to that 4.75. I'm super excited about that we can move our pinch rollers on this. Really, really excited. The registration marks have been approved so it can read our glitter cardstock. I definitely want to do a little bit of research on the print and cut without the mat. I really think it's not possible, but if it is, I want to make sure if it's user error because that would be really cool too. Now, you guys, let me know in the comments below, what other content would you like to see with the Silhouette Portrait 4? Do you want to see more sticker tutorials, paper crafts? Maybe you want to see vinyl or HTV? Once again, if you guys use my links below to purchase your new Silhouette machine, you're going to have access to my free workshops, which I'm super duper excited about, so don't miss out on that. Once again, all you have to do is email me your name. I'll double check with Mimic Vinyl. They'll let me know that you purchased your machine, and then you will be added to the classes. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have found it helpful or maybe inspiring in some sort of way. If you did, make sure you comment down below, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing.